Hello and welcome to Reroll. My name is Angus Morrison, here today with a review of Dishonored, the Brigmore Witches. It is a direct sequel to the Knife of Dunwall and, I believe, the last piece of story DLC for Dishonored. Now, I love Dishonored, for everything from really tight first-person stealth mechanics through to the kind of world building you'd expect in an MMO. Arkane really impressed me with their debut game. I did, however, find cause for complaint with the Knife of Dunwall. There was nothing intrinsically wrong with it, the stealth and combat remained solid, and the switch from Lord Protector to Assassin of Royalty was at least an attempt to do something new and engaging with the same tech. But ultimately, it was just too similar to the base game. The mission structure remained entirely unchanged, offering carefully authored paths towards lethal or non-lethal takedowns, assets were heavily reused, and only 2 of the 3 missions took us somewhere new. The third level, Dowd's Hideout, was copy-pasted perfectly from Dishonored. I wanted a little more, for Arkane to show us another side of the rich world hinted at in the course of the original. And for Brigmore, I am very pleased to say that they have risen to the challenge, tackling almost every point of criticism made by myself and the wider gaming press. I'll admit I was worried when I saw the news that Brigmore Witches would take us back to Coldridge Prison, the very first level of the original Dishonored. I'd criticised the fact that one level of Knife had been lifted straight from the vanilla game, and it looked very much like they were making the same mistake twice. But though the entrance hall remains essentially the same, upon reaching the interrogation room, visitors will find that Coldridge has undergone a little bit of redecorating. More than that though, the wing of the prison which is yours to explore is a new addition, separate from the corridors traversed during Corvo's breakout. And as you stop to listen to the guards, as you read text logs and books and fiddle with the swanky new security, you learn that these changes come as a direct result of Corvo's actions.
You've seen Corvo train, haven't you? Once he had the key, there was no stopping him. And the way he went off that bridge? How do you stop a man who'll make a jump like that? Like he doesn't care.
Or like he's more than human.
You think he's
I think we played that overseer noise for a reason.
This is Arkane playing to their strengths, taking what is essentially a static level and adding small touches to make it feel like a real, changing environment. In Knife of Dunwall, Dowd's Hideout was the same old space it ever was, but in Brigmore, the world has reacted to the events of the main story. As a result, Coldridge is a level that you will want to revisit. But let's talk environments more generally, because one hallmark of Knife of Dunwall was aggressive asset reuse. Yes, the spaces themselves were new, but they were new arrangements of the buildings and props we'd seen 100 times before. Brigmore does something different, taking us out of the city to the Brigmore estate and proving that Arkane's artists are as comfortable with greenery as they are a plague-stricken city. Brigmore Manor boasts greenhouses and gardens in addition to architectural decay, and though the surroundings may be brighter, the tone of Brigmore is darker than anything we've seen previously. This is exactly what I wanted to see from Dishonored DLC, Arkane proving that their exaggerated watercolour style is just as capable of painting a world as it is a city. And it's worth noting that many existing textures and models have had a touch-up. Faces, fingers and fabric especially are looking much sharper than in Dishonored or the Knife of Dunwall, and that's highly commendable for DLC because it's not something they had to do. In fact, all of the Brigmore Witches feels like it's received a lot of love and a lot of attention from the devs, far more polished than we'd usually expect from a piece of DLC. The mission structure by which you're given a target to eliminate lethally or non-lethally is for the most part unchanged, but with one significant alteration. The game doesn't explicitly tell you which options are lethal and which are not. It's still quite apparent what the results of disabling a life support machine will be, for example, but that you're left to make that call yourself without the game yelling, "Look! This is lethal! Look how lethal it is!" gives you a refreshing sense of agency. Another sticking point of the first game was the fact that if you wanted to play non-lethally, you were restricted to using just a handful of tools from the full arsenal. Arkane have tackled this criticism head-on by expanding the non-lethal weaponry introduced in the Knife of Dunwall. Choke Dust can now be upgraded to Baffle Dust, stunning your enemies and making them forget your presence, and Stun Mines present a child-friendly alternative to the Arc Mines. So whether you're a stone-cold killer or a borderline pacifist, the tools at your disposal are many and varied. Brigmore's weakest point is its story. It's perfectly serviceable, and indeed the writing and voice work is arguably superior to that in the Knife of Dunwall, but it suffers for its brevity. Like Knife, the Brigmore Witches is only 3 missions long, which just isn't enough time to build up a sense of urgency and impending doom leading into the final confrontation. The ending rushes up to meet you just as you get into the swing of things, and left me feeling a little unsatisfied. However, the Brigmore Witches allows you to import your save from the Knife of Dunwall, and I suspect that played back to back, the 2 installments of Dowd's Tale will be much better paced than in isolation. If you take the time to explore the world and read its copious lore, the Dowd DLC should offer an experience almost as rich as Dishonored itself. The Brigmore Witches is a highly polished, highly compelling piece which showcases some of Arkane's best artwork to date. It is by far the strongest content I have had the pleasure of downloading in a very long while. Thank you for watching. My name is Angus Morrison. Please do subscribe at youtube.com/rerollgaming. Share this video if you're feeling kind, and I will see you shortly.